6:16 is where we stand on the clock. We're going to be here till 7 o'clock. Trust you had a pleasant and meaningful Thanksgiving holiday. How about you guys? Good one?
It was real good. Very good.
Yeah, we ate our way through it.
You what?
8 our way through it.
I did too. I'm not ready to go back to work tomorrow. I enjoyed this 4 days off.
Eating for 24 hours, just 24 hours a day.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It really is ridiculous, but but we do it year after year after year.
Yeah, but you're so slim, it's like you never eat or something.
No. Well, I just, stay away from the dressing. That's it, huh?
Yeah.
But and how about that game, huh? The Cowboys?
Oh, my God. That was amazing.
10 in a row. Are you believing this?
I'm in love with the Cowboys again. I mean, I've always been a fan, sometimes a fair weather fan, but they are just doing fantastic.
Yeah, it's something. And we talk to people from outside the state all the time. We had somebody on the 4 o'clock show who started Taste of the NFL 25, 26 years ago, the party with a purpose, the event the night before the Super Bowl each and every year, and for the food banks. And he's from Minnesota. Of course, the Cowboys getting ready to head that way this coming Thursday night, play the Vikings. But he says it's crazy. Everybody up here is talking about the Cowboys. Every place I go all over the country, people are talking about the Cowboys. I know it's that America's team thing that you all talk about in Texas, but he said, we're not America team lovers up here. This is crazy. We just can't believe what this guy is. The two rookies and
to beat the Redskins. Yeah. I've always had a real intense dislike.
Well, and to have a stage like that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Thanksgiving Day. Here's a legacy that began in '66, and this was the 30th win for the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, and they just continue to say, hey, we're strutting our stuff. What do you think? I mean, it's unbelievable what they're doing. So it's exciting. It was fun watching Jimmy Johnson talking about it on the pregame show today. So
I don't think the bubble's going to burst. I think it's just they're going to go all the way.
Michael Strahan, who's also on the pregame show, he hit it on the head from where I sit. And this is what I've said for weeks to people when they say, Scott, you covered the Cowboys for 30-plus years. What do you think? And I said, well, I'll tell you what. This is exciting. It's great. It brings back memories of Staubach and what they did in the 70s against the Steelers and Bradshaw and that type of thing. But I said more recently, when you win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, 92, 93, 95, and you got, Emmett and Troy and Michael and that whole, and there Jimmy Johnson. Now you say, okay, it's been 20 years since we, over 20 years. So you say, what about but you know what? It's the same type of thing right now. Mm-hmm. With Dak, and I mean, just you got a running back, a quarterback that are both rookies. You got a defense that's led by Sean Lee. He's just playing as he always does, and But here's the key, and this is where I was going with this whole scenario. It doesn't matter if you go back to Staubach or you go to Troy and Emmett, or you come to the present time. This is what they're due during the regular season, and Dak and the whole team now are having a good time and are being very successful. But when you go to the next level and you get into the playoffs, you're getting the best of the best. You're getting the creme de la creme. And they need to know that it's not going to just be this easy to go from here to a Super Bowl in Houston. They're going to have to up the game here in a couple of weeks.
I think they're capable.
I think they are too, but I just hope they know that. And I think Jason Garrett, who I have the utmost respect for. He's just a great guy, and he's done a great job, and he gets it. His whole family has been in coaching for years. His dad,
he's been
his
to the
brothers.
Super Bowl himself.
Yeah, sure he has. So he gets it. But I just hope they, if they do that, there's no stopping them.
They've risen to every challenge.
Yeah, they really have.
And they've got the new triplets. They've got it. Yeah, right. They do.
Well, I tell you,
and they're young.
It's fun to watch. It really is.
They're young. And
what happens with Romo?
Talented.
Oh gosh, has he handled himself like a champ? We talked about
he has
the last couple of weeks. He's handled himself like a champ, but we'll see. We'll see, but it's a nice backup quarterback to have, huh?
Perfect.
Boy, yeah, but he's handled himself like the ultimate champ.
Well, and maybe he'll get his ring.
Yeah, yep. And you know who else I'd love to see get a ring? Jason Witten.
Jason Witten.
Oh my
Absolutely.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's headed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's as sure as you and I and the three of us sit here. But it just that would be just great to see that happen. All right, enough of that.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
I really missed the Longhorn Aggie game on Thanksgiving. I was talking about that. A bunch of my family are Aggies, and we were talking about how much we miss it. And then we lost our coach.
Yeah, you're not the only one that has been talking about that this weekend. And yeah, that was as much a part of Thanksgiving as the Cowboys used to be.
And and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I'm trying to maybe build some momentum. Maybe it can start here. Is we play non-conference play all the time. Why can't they still play on Thanksgiving? I don't know. It's beyond my control, I guess.
Well, it's and you lost your coach too.
Yes, we did. Tom Herman from University of Houston is replacing him.
Boy, he's a good one too. Ooh.
He is. He's done a lot of good work with that program.
One of the most sought after in the country, and for UT to grab him, that's huge.
And I think we lose.
That's huge.
I think we lose Deontay Foreman. I think he goes to the pros. I think he would have stayed with Charlie because I think he and Charlie Strong were really bonded.
Yep.
But I think we lose him. I think he winds up going somewhere.
Interesting.
It's my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think you could be right. You could be right. So 622 is where we stand. We'd love to hear from you, whatever you'd like to talk about. Relationship Roundtable is what we normally address, and we're talking about the scenarios that come around this time of year when it comes time to figure out where do we go? Where do the children go? Where do the kiddos go? If you're a divorced family, do they go with mom? Do they go with dad? Is it a combination? You were saying that even at your age, Trey, you still have to make sure that mom's taken care of, that dad's taken care of, that everybody's happy.
I'm treading lightly here because the two people that I can guarantee listen to this show every week are my mom and dad. But they've been divorced since, like 1982,
My
83.
gosh, that's 35 years.
It's a long time. But still to this day, there's still some animosity there over where I'm going to spend Thanksgiving.
Well, for a mom, you're always going to be the little boy,
Oh, of course.
So she's going to want you there at the dinner table.
Absolutely.
And of course, you're a guy, and Dad's going to want you alongside. So
Sure. And I hadn't been to Dad's family in a while, so I did Dad's family this year, and it was good.
888-787-5543. Are you in that situation? What do you do? We'd love to hear from you. Maybe you might address us with some new thoughts on where you send the kiddos on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on Hanukkah, whatever it might be. How about you, Steve? Do you have to still worry about your kiddos are a little older now? They're gone. They're out of the nest.
Yeah,
is it still a topic?
Well, no, not really. My ex-wife lives in Kansas City with her husband, and just for example, my daughter came to Texas, came to Dallas. She lives in Atlanta, and she flew in to Austin, and we all went down to Austin. We have a pretty big family down there. And my son stayed in Washington, D.C., and my ex-wife and her husband went to Washington, D.C. to have Thanksgiving with him. Christmas, my daughter's going to Kansas City to be with her mom, and I'm going to Memphis to be with Kelly's family there, and my son, I don't know where he'll be. But it's really not an issue. I mean, the kids just kind of go where they want to go, really, at this point. And if the parents will fly them in, they'll go in. So we fly them in.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the airline's making out like a bandit, huh?
Wow, that airport was jammed today.
I bet it was.
Let me tell you, it's crazy.
And it's not easy to get a flight to Memphis. I tried to fly to Memphis a few years ago, and there's not that many direct flights.
Right. Southwest now has some flights directly
too. That's good.
Nonstop.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. Normally you had to fly to Little Rock and then get a car, for 2 hours or something. But
love Memphis actually. I hate to say this as a Texan, but I really do think the best barbecue comes out of Memphis, and I'm probably going to get in trouble with my fellow Texans. But there's a place. Can't remember the name of it. It's on Elvis Presley Boulevard. That was the best barbecue I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
really?
Fun.
Yeah, very good.
It's a fun
Interesting.
City.
Yeah, I've been up there. Most of the time I've spent up there has been at St. Jude Children's Hospital. That's like a Disney World for sick kids. It's incredible what they do up there. Of course, we are very fortunate right here in North Texas to have a couple of great children's hospitals, Children's in Dallas and Cook Children's in Fort Worth. But it's just absolutely amazing some of the things they deal with catastrophic diseases day in and day out. And do you know that it's last I knew, I think it's $1.7 million a day to keep that hospital running.
Wow.
But everything's free. You go there, how you get there, when you get there, where you stay when you're there, everything is free.
That's incredible.
And that's huge for parents that are dealing with leukemia or cancer, childhood cancer, or any number of other catastrophic diseases that affect our sons and daughters, our boys and girls. So it's quite a place. Quite a place.
Yeah, it is. I was watching the cowboy thing, the Red Kettle campaign for
Oh, right.
the
Salvation Army. Yeah.
They've raised over $2 billion
and
in the last 20 years.
Isn't that something?
That's amazing.
That's in Jerry is the first one, Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, is the first one to tell you that wasn't his idea. That was his daughter, Charlotte's idea.
Mm-hmm.
She said, we ought to do something with this Red Kettle campaign and the Salvation Army, which the Jones family has been incredibly generous to over the years, nationally and locally. Matter of fact, they've built buildings with their family foundation name and what have you on it. But they have been most supportive of the Salvation Army and its mission. And Charlotte said, we've got this Thanksgiving Day football game. We've got a nationally televised audience. They are talking turkey and they're talking football. And we need to raise a little money and a little awareness about the Salvation Army and all that the Red Kettle campaign does. Why don't we bring in top star, a singing sensation, and if we can get the networks to expand the length of the halftime, we'll go ahead and do it. So that year, NBC was doing the game. That was back in '96 or '97, and they went to New York, and I don't know if it was Dick Ebersol or who was in charge at NBC at the time, but they sat down with him, and Jerry says, my daughter's got an idea. And so Jerry and Charlotte were there, and Charlotte shared her story and said, I'd love to bring in somebody. And that first year was Reba McEntire.
Wow.
And said, I think this is something we could do every year if you can just give us a little extra time for the halftime. And they said, well, if we don't lose any money, if we can make it a profitable situation for all involved and a win-win, let's do it for the Salvation Army, let's do it for the football fans, and let's do it for the NFL in general. Let's get it done. And so the Cowboys said, we want to do it every year, make it an annual event, and the rest is history. And as you said, billions with a B.
2.1 billion in 20 years.
Yeah.
That's like $100 million a year.
Yeah. So people that had been critical of Jerry Jones and family over the years, a lot of times these things go unnoticed and untalked about. So hats off to the entire Jones family because they make that happen. And Charlotte, she's a rock star. Well, I'm one of her biggest fans. She's incredible, sharp young lady.
As much as people may not like the Joneses, they do. As you said,
that's what I mean.
They do an incredible amount of good for the city and just entertainment in general.
Yeah.
And for Jerry Jones is actually a fraternity brother of mine.
You're kidding?
I'm not. He's a Kappa Sigma, just like me.
Yeah, up at Arkansas is where Jerry was, right? You were at UT.
Yes, sir. And actually at Midwestern State is where I started and then transferred. But yes, and he does a lot for my fraternity too. He actually is one of our big benefactors.
You're serious?
I'm serious. And so got a lot of respect for him there.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. Just about 6:30 is where we stand. Relationship Roundtable, Steve Bruneman, Trey Harris. Calvin Johnson has the night off. I'm Scott Murray, and we're going to be back with more right after this.